Our next guest is also feeling upbeat about the holidays and the consumer overall. This as some department stores like Nordstrom, Macy's, and Kohl's all see big gains over the past month. We're talking about gains of 30% for Kohl's to 65% for Nordstrom. Yruma joins us now. He's the managing director at KeyBanc. Ed, what explains these gains?
Look, I think a couple things, right? I think investors are starting to look forward to 2021, and we're going to be in an environment where you're going to be out again. You're probably not going to be wearing the same sweats that you've been wearing for the past 6 to 9 months. And so there's a lot of excitement. I also think we've been in this 10-year cycle of giving experiences versus things. And you're not giving, holiday, you're not giving, sporting tickets. You're not going to a concert. You're not taking a big trip. So we think this is going to be the holiday of things. And that's a big change from what we've seen in the past.
That said, my parents come to mind because they always used to get each other tickets to a concert or a show or some kind of interesting thing that was going on. The fact that they can't do that this year simply means they'll do it next year. How much of a reprieve is this for department stores and other places that we often think of as being challenged?
Well, look, certainly many of the challenges with the shift to e-com have been accelerated by COVID. But I'd tell you that we think that there will be big pent-up demand next year for apparel. We think there'll be big fashion shifts, which should be beneficial. As it relates to whether it's experiences over things longer term, it's hard to say, but we have been in this experience environment, and it wouldn't be unforeseen to be in a things cycle for a period of time.
All right, let me ask you about a couple of specific names that I know people are interested in, specifically Nordstrom and Peloton. You can take Nordstrom first because it has had such a big increase over the past month. Is that a ceiling or a floor?
We think it's a floor. Look, we think Nordstrom is very well positioned at the high end relative to other places in the consumer. The high-end consumer has been fairly insulated. They've enjoyed the stock market. Real estate prices have been supportive. And Nordstrom is also seeing a lot of rationalization at some of their key competitors like Neiman Marcus. So we think Nordstrom actually has pretty wide berth to that high-end consumer right now. And then as it relates to Peloton, clearly they've been a huge beneficiary of COVID, but we think there's still such an ongoing focus on health and wellness. We think people aren't going to go back to gyms right away. And so we think that business is very well positioned.
What stocks, Ed, would you be more cautious on?
Look, I think we're more cautious on some of the logical beneficiaries of COVID that may not have some of the same tailwinds into next year. Wayfair has been a big winner this year. Obviously, they've done very well with this nesting trend. That's going to be some pretty tough headwinds for them into next year. I'd also say, we look at something like a Curate Retail, which is a video broadcast, TV shopping. That may be more difficult again as the consumer gets out.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.